Hey guys, today's video is a little bit more specific than they usually are. I had gotten asked on Tumblr that said, how do you draw Trish's hair so perfectly? Like, what kind of hairstyle does she have? Thank you. The first thing I do is I gather a shit ton of reference photos. Um, Trisha's hair is made up of two vintage styles mixed together. So the first style is called a page boy, and this hairstyle was from the 1940s, and it is kind of identified by the defined curl that goes around the whole head. So one big chunky curl. And then the next hairstyle is a pin curl brush out. So more like you see here on Michelin Pitt, who has the black hair, and Miss Mosh, who has the blonde hair. A big inspiration for Trish when I draw her is Dita Von Teese and her style and her hair. Um, Miss Mosh, of course, Michelin Pitt. I collect a lot of photos of 1940s and 50s stars and tutorials. Here's Michelin again. Miss Winnie from Instagram in the top right corner. I also watch a lot of hairstylists on Instagram because they take a lot of good 360 shots of hairstyles that they do. Of course, Marilyn Monroe. Old vintage hair tutorials. Like I said, I like to follow a lot of hairstylists, so here's one that you guys should check out. His name is His Vintage Touch. He's a celebrity hairstylist from LA, and he does hair for Dita Von Teese. And if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, he does hair for Valentina. This is Trish, if you didn't know who Trish was. She's my friend Blue's character, and she is my character Ollie's girlfriend. So let's get started. I've already drawn out her face since this is more about the hair than the character. With vintage hairstyles, a big thing about them is the silhouette. They have a very structured and defined shape. So when I draw it, I like to think of waterfalls and clouds. The top of the hair is more like a waterfall shape. It comes down at a curve, and the bottom is like drawing fluffy clouds. Reference photos help a ton. It's good to have more than just one reference photos because I like to change little things here and there about the picture. Like I don't like to draw it exactly as it is. Yeah, and that's the cloud shape that I was talking about. The bottom of the hair has this fluffy cloud shape. There are no sharp edges in this type of hairstyle. Everything is very curved. You're drawing a lot of C shapes. The top part of the hair is hugged very close to the skull, and the bottom is more billowy. And I've exaggerated this. As you can see, that little dip in the hair is not as extreme in the reference photo, but I like to change it up a little bit. And that's also something that's more mixed in from the pin curl hairstyle. The dips in that type of hairstyle are more extreme. So drawing the fluffy clouds at the bottom, we're not going to really pay too much attention in putting a lot of detail in it because we'll do that later. This is just like the base sketch. This is not going to be seen that much in the final drawing. Drawing it from the back is kind of hard. Drawing anything from the back is kind of hard because it's not something I'm used to drawing. I don't think I have many pictures of her drawn from the back of her head. I don't think. I do a lot of 3/4, and that's like a habit I need to stop. So yeah, that's the thing all sketched out. I'm gonna lower the opacity on that, and I'm gonna draw the pin curl style for you guys. I'm mixing both of them together in the final thing you'll see later, but I'm just doing this to show you the different types of hairstyles. So yeah, like I said before, this hairstyle has a lot more shapes in it than just that one long line and a curl at the end. So this one, I think it's a little bit more fun to draw. There's a lot more curves in it. Right now I'm drawing it from the side without a reference, which is kind of bad to do, but I've drawn her so much from this angle that I'm, I've kind of have it memorized. Um, when you're drawing something from the side and you have a front view of it, you kind of have to imagine every object as if it's a 3D object and you can spin it around. What would that look like if I turned her a little bit this way, a little bit that way, whatever? Um, I really should do the little 360 turns of my characters to show all the different angles so that I can have reference photos for all the angles of their faces because I don't know if I've mentioned this, but consistency is a big problem that I have in my art drawing my characters because they look different all the time and I hate that. Alright, so the hair is drawn out. Both hairstyles are. I'm going to lower the opacity on this and I'm going to set this layer to multiply. After you do that, you are adding another layer underneath and this layer will be the layer that you use to color. I'm kind of going to just speed through coloring her skin. I have a tutorial on how to color skin. You can find that. I'll probably link it below. And it shows you how to color different skin tones. Basically shows you what I'm doing here. Alright, skin's done. Now onto the hair. I am tracing out the shape of the hair and filling it in with a color. It doesn't have to be the exact color that the hair is going to be later on in the drawing because you can always change that with the filter option inside, and I use hue and saturation to change the color to the color that I prefer. How I usually color the hair in is I usually take my lasso tool and I trace around the edge of the hair shape and I just fill it in with a paint bucket because I find that much more a faster way of doing it than coloring it in by hand. But for some reason, my lasso tool was acting janky, so I had to color it in by hand. Yeah. So again, tracing out the shape. And for the hairline, it's always good to draw a few individual hairs because if you draw the hairline kind of like a box uh, flat shape with no little indentations for each of the hairs, it kind of looks more like a wig, if that makes sense. So drawing in the little individual hairs at the what would you call that? Around the face, where the scalp starts. I draw the line and details for this off screen, but it is the same exact image. I just have a blue filter over the top of it. Right now I have another layer set on top, and this is my shading layer. I'm taking a blue color set to multiply, and I'm using that color to shade everywhere a curl or a curve ends. So underneath that big curve of her bang, I have some shading. Around her face, there's some shading. Right here where it dips in, sort of close to where the neck is, there's some shading there. Anywhere that's like a deeper or a crevice in the hair, you are going to shade it darker. And you can lower the opacity on that so it doesn't look so extreme. Next, I am doing the line art for the hair. And a big mistake that I always used to make is I used to draw every single strand of hair when I was in high school. So if you look at any old drawings, I have every single strand drawn in, which is something you really don't need to do. You kind of just want to draw strands to show where the hair is curving, like the direction that the hair is going. So you see here that I only have like about 10 lines on her hair. So it's just to show the direction the hair is going in, where the hair curves or curls, and the outline for the hair. Next, I am taking a color that is slightly darker than her hair color, and I'm using that to add a little bit more shading. Then I'm going to take a very extremely bright blue and use that as the shine. And it's not going to be that bright once I lower the opacity on it. So this is, again, another layer on top. And then I'm taking another layer on top of that. I'm putting in a little bit of a more of a whitish blue for the shine too. Doing the same thing again with the lines. Here I messed up because I forgot that I have that blue filter layer on top, and I had used the eyedropper tool to suck out the color, but the colors are skewed because of the blue filter that I have on top. So I had to remember to turn off that blue filter and take the colors. See, this is the original color without the blue on top of it. Again, adding the shine uh, on here, the lines, then the bright blue, the lighter blue, and that's pretty much it. Everything is on a separate layer, but as I go along drawing, I flatten them along the way. So at the end, it's kind of like there's just 4 layers. So this is it. This is the finished drawing of Trish from the front, from the side, and the back. Uh, Hope this answers your question. Thank you for watching, and thank you for the 11K subscribers. I think I'm gonna do a giveaway soon or something like that, a live stream maybe. But thanks for watching. Bye.